Well, hello, Sunday fun day. We are back. Didn't do nothing to it this week in between since last Sunday. I did spray the back of this. I scotch braided it over top of the weld through primer and sprayed it with my rust paint. And I did drill the holes where it's going to be spot welded in place. So you know what's going to happen now. Same routine all over again. We're going to put the back of the rocker on. Then we're going to start cutting floors out and get ready to do floors. That is what is going to happen right now on the old beast. So, well, let's let her roll. Alrighty, we'll come around the other side here. We'll show you. We've got the inner rocker in now. That's all done. So now next we will, we'll start cutting floors out. Oh, Kathy, if you're watching this video, we're starting on your truck here on Monday. Get ready. Get ready. Payday's on the way. Anyway, so yeah, there it all is. It's all in there. It's all ground down. The welds are ground down, I should say. So we're going to start chopping this floor out and start fitting everything. See where we can go from there. So let's get the old grinder lit up. Okay, floors are coming out. Getting these out of here. Now I forgot to mention to you guys, because sometimes, like I say, I work on the car a little bit during the week. You know where your seat bolts are, and I said to you, if you're using a factory seat, you got to drill through the new floors for your bolts to go to the seat. I forgot to mention, before I put that panel in, you got to remember when you're cutting the old floor out to save these. These get welded on the back, and then they sit on a cushion, which I did show you. They sit on right here, they sit on a body mount cushion. Some are shimmed. See, there's a factory shim on that one. And they sit on there, then that thing sits on top of it. And I forgot to mention to save those when you cut your old floor and weld them back on. So, like I said, I'm not a teacher. Sometimes I forget to show you things, but I did put them on, so I just forgot to show you. So anyway, I'm going to continue cutting the floor. We're up to the front body mount brace support, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to get that out of there. Okay, so I got most of the floor, like I say here, cut away. The one body support mount, of course the bolt broke, so I had to drill it out and tap it. Trusty old tap over here. If you're wondering what size they are, they're 3/8 course. And of course I ran the tap through these two, which are the seat ones. May as well while I'm there. I got my support brace, drilled the holes where they have to be. So that basically is going to go, and I'm going to drill some holes here. I'm going to drill some holes along these edges here so I can plug weld it to this inner piece. And this basically goes like that. You can see the hole is lining up, and then you got your one right there that bolts down in. Of course we'll put some more rust paint on there. We don't want to leave that bare metal. So that'll go in. Now I got to do next, as you can see, I still got to cut some more of the floor out. I never cut it all out at first. I always trim a good 80% of it out, and I leave a little bit extra for the fine tuning, for the final cut. But I'll set this in here. Well, I'll do the cutting, set this in here, bolt it down. I actually will bolt it down. Then I'll set the floor over on top of it, go underneath the car, do the felt pen line, take the floor back off, drill the holes in the floor where I have to plug weld it to this. Right? That's what's going to go on there. So that's what's happening right there. And away we go. So I think I'm going to stop for a moment here and go have some lunch. We're doing pretty good timing. Don't think I'll get the floor completely welded in today. But we will get there. It's all good. Alright, lunch was good. Back at it. Got some energy. Got some fuel in the tank. So I'm setting the floor in here. I've lightly bolted in. What I mean by lightly is I just hand tighten the bolts and nuts for the support brace. What I'm doing now is just kind of holding the floor in place here. I'm going to go underneath, take my trusty felt pen, and I'm going to draw underneath. I don't know if you can see this. Let's try and film this. Oh, well, you probably can't see this, but anyway, you're not going to see it. The brace is under here. There's the brace there. You can. Where am I pointing? Anyway, the brace is there. We're gonna draw our lines, and then we're gonna know. Let me come up top because you can't see fuck all under there. We're gonna know where we have to drill through the floor here, so we can plug weld our floor to our brace. So that is what I'm going to attempt to do right now. Okay, I'm just pre-fitting everything. So I made one mistake. We always make mistakes. That's what we like about metal. So I showed you them pieces that go underneath the floor, which I'll lift this out in a second. I'll show you again. I got that one where it should be. Like I say, that's what your bolts go through when you bolt they're like a spacer. Your bolts go through there for your seat. I drilled this one in the wrong spot. I drilled it, you can see, much larger here. Should have been over that way. Now I've got it lined up. That will go where it's supposed to go. And of course now I've got this. But this is not a big deal. That's what I like about metal. So see, this spacer that goes under here, it's already got metal there, so I can leave that because I'm going to dynamite it, insulate it, whatever, it ain't going to matter. Or I can just fill this nicely with weld, grind it down, make this look a little more nicer, and away I go, which is what I'm going to do. I know no one's ever going to see it, why waste the time, but for the 5-10 minutes it's going to take, why not waste the time? And then of course this is the other, I'll show you this is the other piece, and these are all lining up with our brace, so that's good. But before I put this in, I'm going to pull this out now. And I'm gonna, I'll see if I can get this out without hold the camera at the same time. Should be able to. Okay, let's get this off and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Ooh, watch the paint. Anyway, okay. Now we're plug welding from the other side, not this side, the other side. But this is bare metal, so I'm gonna spray this with some, again, rust-proof primer, then some rust paint, because you're never going to get to that again once it's in there. And you know, from the factory, they didn't even do nothing. Whatever, they undercoated the cars after they're all together. Whatever undercoating got on it is what got on it. So there was a lot of areas when I was cutting the floor out that it was bare metal in areas like that. Okay, so this is that piece I took off the floor. What that does there is that goes and sits on top of your mount there. Now, if you forget to do that, if you forget to do this, and you forget to weld these on, do not panic, as long as you don't lose them. Because if you're going to take the car off the frame, you can get to these after. This one's quite simple. You do that one when the tranny cross member's out. So that's simple. You don't even have to take the car off the frame to do that one. Right? Take tranny cross member out, boom. Weld that son of a bitch on where it belongs. These ones you kind of have to have the car off the frame. So they're on there. Again, like I say, I'm going to spray this right now. Well, that's drying up. I'm going to weld I've got this bolted in here, my hand. I'll tighten it down a bit more. I'm going to get it welded up in place where it belongs on either side of here to hold your post. Now again, remember, when you're doing this, you can see I got a jack there. Remember to keep, because you can't just all of a sudden set that in and weld it, because that post might have dropped because you took the support out. So if I let the jack down right now, you're going to see the door does not line up. It drops down a good 1/4 of an inch, right? Where it was before I had adjusted it, because we're going backwards here. But if you remember, I showed you how to adjust the door in a couple videos back. Well, it still had the support in there at that time, a different one, the original one. Now I've took it out. When you take the support and the floor out, what's it going to do? This is going to sink a bit, so you got to put your jack in. You put your jack under there, and how you know how far to jack this up is you just obviously close your door and make sure it lines up and make sure it closes nice. Opens and closes nice, okay? So I said I'm going to weld that now. Actually, I'm going to spray that first. Weld that. That way there, that'll dry. And there we go. And maybe, just maybe, we'll attempt to get this in today, but we're getting down near the end of the day. And I'm also working on other things over in my man cave. You know, my man cave I built, I'm playing over there too. I'm doing a few things over there in between, waiting for like primer, weld through primer to dry, shit like that. Just, I'm always on the go. I'm always running, 100 miles an hour. That's just who I am. Anyway, get back to you in a second here. Yeehaw! I love the dust. Oh yeah. I have a feeling we're running out of welding gas. Yep. Anyway, hopefully I got a bottle of gas here. I'm fucked, but I will. But anyway, what I'm doing right now is the support brace. As I said, got the jack under here, jacked up, which jacks up this, your post. And you put your support brace where you want it to be, and that will hold everything in place. Then next will be your floor. So I got to change out the bottle on this welder, so I hope. But if not, I'll just rob one off another one, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this bloody bar. There. Lovely. Okay, so we got on the go here, guys. Let's see, I'm butt welding in here. Got some spots already kind of welded up there. Going around randomly, doing the plug welds that are going onto our support brace. Tapping down the areas where it's a little high, where the floor's just lifted a teeny bit. That's it, getting that all done. And then we'll do a couple plug welds here. I won't weld all them up. I'll get around 5 or 6 there. Then I'll come over here and do a couple where you see where I've drilled it out. Do a couple plug welds onto there. Get that sort of strong, and yeah, just kind of hop all over the place. That's the idea. Okay, guys. So I got a I got a few plug welds there. Got it welded across there. Got a I don't know if you can see this or not. Got some plug welds up in here. Got a couple along the front. So that's going to be it. I'm going to call it an evening because it is getting on to be 5:30 now. So, well, I don't know what you think, but basically started at 10 a.m. and it's 5:30 now. Did stop for a 1-hour lunch break, but hey, it takes time to do this stuff. It takes time. Some people think it's quick, but it's not. It just goes to show you. But you know where we're going to be next Sunday. We're going to be finishing up doing this floor. I plan on getting it all done next Sunday, and then hopefully, obviously, we're going to get into cutting the rest of this back out, and we're going to get into figuring out our braces for the back and doing our back. And then, yeah, she's looking pretty good. She'll be pretty solid. Let's see how this door is working here. Let's see. I didn't quite give her a hard enough push there. Yeah. Like I say, it sounds loud because you got this flopping around, hitting everything, and it's a hollow door and everything's banging around in there, but she's lining up. She's closing nice. She's opening nice, so that's all that matters. Nice lines and gaps. So, with that being said, remember, it's always a good time at old time. Get out there, do something on your time. Remember, even if it's only an hour a day, after 7 days adds up to be 7 hours. That's 7 hours ahead, right? Doesn't matter. Don't set a date when you want to have something done. I've done it before. I always have a date, and I never make the deadline. And when I do make the deadline, sure, I make it, but I'm always fixing or fucking around with something afterwards on it because I tried to rush to get to that deadline. So now I just don't care about the deadline. I got enough other cars to drive in the meantime, and that's just the way it is. So that's it. Always a good time at old time.